Shana Daniel from the API. Happy New Year to you, Prime Minister.
Same to you and the family.
Thank you. Now,
how's your father-in-law?
He's
good?
Blessed.
All right, give him my regards.
He will.
You notice I didn't ask you about your husband. He young and strong, so I had to ask about Pastor D.
Okay. You have highlighted energy and road repairs as major priority areas for the government for this year. Can you tell us what priority will be given to other areas such as health and education? Will the education revolution continue to gain momentum this year?
Oh yes, the health health is a big focus in my budget speech, and so too would be education, particularly the tertiary matters, because Sister Gerlin will address a lot of in her speech the other programs from early childhood right up to the secondary. I mentioned the housing program, and I mentioned the road program, because I was referencing not that those were the only priorities. I was referencing those because we have to get those going quickly in the dry season, which basically December to the end of May. But we see already we have been having a fair amount of rain in January. So but generally speaking, that is when it makes sense to do the bulk of the work in the dry season. And that's the only point I was making. That they are the priorities. I mean, for instance, we have in a program, a rollout of a program between the central government and National Lottery in relation to playing fields. One of them which they have to address very swiftly is the one which Gerald Thompson had started, the one at Cumberland. Then also there's the one at Chile, which is now is like a dust bowl. It had been well surfaced and so on, and we got to do some other improvements in it. One of the problems with some of the playing fields, of course, is this. You take a big conurbation from Brownstown to Raboka, Dry River. Is one playing field, the one up by Chile. So it is overused. It can't get a chance to breathe, to rest. There used to be one down at Brownstown, but the storms took half of the playing field. Remember that. So we have a good playing field program, the improvements and so on between the central government and National Lottery. I had discussions with them about it already. I named those two. Those are not the only two, but I just mentioned those two. I know from the time I say this that everybody is going to go to every parliament representative, and every young group of sportsmen and women are going to come by me and tell me their own is the priority. We're not going to be able to do all of them this year, but we have been doing quite a lot in the playing fields. But there's some which cry out. Like, I mean, Cumberland obviously cries out for attention, and Carlos James, who, as you know, is an activist in that area, is on my back. I mean, we had on Saturday up by my residence in Gonssalves, I had a meeting with, well, not a meeting, a gathering with all the candidates for the ULP. That was my event, party event. That was not a government event. That was Ralph's event, Ralph and Eloise's event with everybody who involved in as as candidates, possibly all the competitors, and persons naturally, the press secretary and the communications director, they are political appointees, so they were there too. A little bonding session. Eat some food and have a drink. I didn't have anything alcoholic and so on. And so Carlos was there naturally. And when he was leaving, he came to where I was sitting down. He said, "Comrade, remember early the Cumberland Plains." I said, "Yeah, man, I have it in my head." So that's why you see I mention it also. So there are several of those emphases, but I had only singled out the two which I wanted to highlight from the standpoint of the vagaries of the weather.